Welcome to the Crimson Engine. My name is 𝙍𝙁𝙄𝙄𝙗. Today we are talking about my new computer setup, the heart of my film production company.
It is an Apple Studio M1 Ultra and a ASUS ProArt display 𝙍𝙬𝙄𝙬𝘖
HDR monitor. So upgrading your equipment as an independent filmmaker can be kind of tricky. You need to balance off the improvements in your efficiency of upgrading against the cost of upgrading, as well as the time and effort and lost productivity on your part that you're going to have to spend transferring over all the apps and settings and files from your old computer to your new computer, then potentially selling your old computer. And when you're extremely busy, that is no small thing. 3.5 years now, I've had a 2019 iMac with a Radeon graphics card. It handled 4K RAW pretty well. It would occasionally drop frames on audio render, but the main limitation that I ran up against was its connectivity. It only has 2 Thunderbolt ports. This was a problem because I needed to connect my 6-drive Synology via Thunderbolt. I have other external hard drives I wanted to connect via Thunderbolt, and I also need to connect the card reader by Thunderbolt. So I was constantly swapping in and out ports, and I couldn't use more than 2 of those at the same time, and often I needed to. It's because I store my old files on my Synology, have a working drive, and if I want to get files off a card that I've just shot at the same time as I'm editing, I couldn't do that. So I really wanted to upgrade to something with more ports. The Apple M1 chip also has huge advantages in terms of speed, editing raw footage on DaVinci Resolve. It's able to handle 8K, which the R5C and R5 shoot. It actually handles the H.265 that the R5 shoots much, much better. I also wanted the flexibility to add different monitors, especially one that could master in HDR and something bigger than the 27-inch that was on the iMac. iMacs are amazing because they work straight out of the box. You don't need to connect anything else to them. But the downside of that is that you're stuck with the monitor ports that they come with. So by getting the Mac Studio, I was able to connect the ASUS monitor.
𝑃A32UCGK.
It's a 1,000,000:1 contrast ratio and can go all the way up to 1600 nits. It has true 10-bit color depth. It supports DCI, Rec 2020, Adobe RGB, and sRGB. It also comes with something that I've never had on a monitor before, which is a custom calibration tool. You basically put this little dongle into the computer and into the monitor. It plays a bunch of different tones and colors, and then it creates a custom calibration profile for the monitor so that you know that the colors that you're looking on the monitor are as accurate as they can be. So the shade of red on this color will be the same shade and brightness of red on any other color calibrated monitor anywhere in the world. There is absolutely nothing worse than grading something, thinking it looks amazing, sending it to someone, have them say, oh, I don't like the way this looks, try to change that, but you're both looking at different pictures. And so you'll never arrive at a consistent thing because you're looking at something of a different saturation and a different color tone than they are. Only way around this is to have equal calibration across all monitors, and that's what this monitor does.
The monitor also has an internal scalar IC chip that allows the color settings to be saved to the monitor itself instead of the computer you're working on. This means if you have multiple devices, they can all use the same color setting, which eliminates the hassle of having to recalibrate on each machine you use.
It can also work in true HDR, which has been supported by DaVinci Resolve Studio for a couple of years now. It connects via Thunderbolt, and the whole screen turns 90 degrees and goes up and down by almost half a foot. So you can turn this into a standing desk. You can work with vertical video at full screen if you want to show that to a client. It does take a little bit of getting used to, but it is really awesome for working on vertical video or portrait photography. Now, this isn't a discount monitor. On Amazon, they run around $4,000 right now. But if you don't need the HDR capability, you can get the equivalent color fidelity for something like $700. To go with the Mac Studio and the ASUS, I have my existing Wacom, I have my Synology drive, and over the years, I've refined this to something that works really well for me in the peripherals that I need with the way that I like to work. I do have these 4-foot tube lights behind it that give me some nice ambient lighting. If I'm color grading, I tend to turn these to a neutral 5600 so it doesn't alter my perception of what white is. And basically, after 20 something years of doing this, I finally have the computer set up that I've always wanted. There's nothing I would change, and it is a real joy to sit down every morning and get to work. That is a look at my indie filmmaker Mac Studio setup. You can find all the links in the description below. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.